Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody that's been rocking with us as we progress throughout the night. Special shout out to those folks that have been checking us out on TuneIn as well as on iTunes. Those folks that are listening to us from our website, www.legacyinternetradio. Thank you to those folks who just, who love us, man. We got a lot of folks that's supporting us. We had a comment that came in right at the end of that last segment. Our brother, Big Mike, says that war means money. Don't matter who's in office. We kick in the door of any country that can't defend themselves. It's inevitable. Rothschild-controlled government makes profits on either side of the outcome. That might be the comment of the night, because you got a lot of people who don't understand when I say things like she's selected. That's what I mean. Like the Rothschilds, like Barack Obama wasn't part of that. Donald Trump isn't part of that. Like these people who came along, but they had to learn how to play the game. And make no mistake, for those folks that are so pro-Trump that they don't understand why there could be anybody that would want to, and this is air quotes, vote for the criminal Hillary Clinton, because she's establishment and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I get that Donald Trump's a tough guy. He's bold and talks a lot of trash and all that kind of stuff. Make no mistake, if he gets in, he going to play the game, because that's what they do in this country. So ain't no half step with Marcus J. Live from Den. Legacy Internet Radio. It's time to take a walk around the round table with our brother and yours, Big Rube. Big Rube, the floor is yours, man.
What's going on, Big Rube? Oh, you got me on mute.
Because you ain't saying nothing. Man.
Clearly. Big Rube's Roundtable. Before we get into the fun stuff, we need to talk about some other stuff that's going on. Now, in Virginia, and if you don't live in Virginia, my advice to you is to go on Google and check and see what is on the ballot where you're located. Because in Virginia, there are 2 constitutional amendments that we're going to vote for. If you don't know what's going on, you're going to get blindsided. Strong. The first one is a Bill of Rights, right to work. Now, the question is, and please bear with me, should Article 1 of the Constitution of Virginia be amended to prohibit any agreement or combination between an employee and a labor union or labor organization whereby non-members of the union or organization, are denied the right to work for the employer? 2, membership to the union or organization is made a condition of employment or continuation of employment by such employer. Or 3, the union or organization acquires an employment monopoly in any such enterprise. Basically what's going on is the state of Virginia is a right-to-work state. In the state of Virginia, you cannot create a union. It don't work here. However, if a company is here that has a union, but their state is based elsewhere, then a union will be honored because it's not based in the state of Virginia. So, what this will do is the proposed amendment places the provisions of the Virginia Right to Work law into the Constitution of Virginia. While Virginia law may be amended by any future General Assembly, a constitutional prohibition can only be changed by a future constitutional amendment approved by the voters. Basically, it's saying right now you can't create a union in the Commonwealth of Virginia. With this law, you can. So, if you're pro-union, you might say yes to this. If you're not pro-union, you may say no. That's the first thing. And the second thing that I'll talk about, because I don't know if we need to go into some real detail about it. Proposed constitutional amendment, taxation and finance.
Hold on. Let's do one at a time.
All right.
Let's do one at a time. We vote no.
If you choose to.
I'm thinking.
It's basically saying that right now in the state of Virginia, like if you have a business or you work for a company that's based out of the state of Virginia, you cannot start a union. Right. You can't. This will change that, saying, if the employer agrees with you, then you may start a union.
Yeah, I think that you should be able to start your unions. I am one that would support a union.
If you're a union supporter, you would say yes to this. If you're not a union supporter, you would say no.
Okay.
All right, then, I'm not. I think my opinions on unions are my personal opinion is they're necessary. However, I believe unions are necessary for
The people.
labor jobs, such as if I'm climbing a pole and I fall and break my arm, yeah, I want the union to help me out to make sure they can't fire me. However, and if I work at a drugstore and I don't feel like doing my work today, the union should come in and save my job. No. That's just my personal opinion, and it doesn't reflect anybody else here.
I think that we should be able to form a union if we choose to.
Right.
Especially with Virginia being a right-to-work state, they can fire your ass for no reason. They don't need a reason to fire you. They can decide, you know what, Big Rube, I don't like your fleece shirt. You got to go.
That's very true.
They'll probably come up with something better, and
I would hope so.
But if that's really the reason, that's all they need.
Correct.
That's what right to work means. They don't need a reason. And so, yeah, which is also the reason why we don't have a lot of unions in the state of Virginia. Actually, none that I know of.
We don't have any that have been created in the state of Virginia.
Right, and that's why, because it's right to work, and they want to be able to control you. And they can't control you without the presence of a union to protect you from their control.
And having been in a union in one of my former jobs, I think unions are important for major labor jobs.
Okay. Physical labor.
Yes. McDonald's, not so much. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, I think probably
that's like I said. That's just my personal opinion.
Most folks don't know a whole lot about unions, particularly in Virginia, because we can't have them. I remember working at the job that you and I met each other at. We had classes, if you may remember, that taught us how to avoid people who wanted to try to start unions. You know what I mean? And so that's crazy. And I think most laymen know of the NFLPA and the MLB and the NBA. When we think of unions, we think of sports most of the time.
I think this bill is going to pass. I think it will pass, and I think that it will give people in Virginia the want to create unions. I mean, my personal opinion, bigger companies such as the company I used to work for and the company we used to work for, because they are chartered out of different states, they can have unions. However, we can't be forced to pay union dues in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that's the difference. Now, the second one is two words that are important to everybody in this room and probably everybody listening to the sound of my voice. Taxation and finance.
Okay.
AKA your money. They want to have property tax exemptions for spouses of certain emergency services providers. So the question is, shall the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to provide an option to the localities to exempt from taxation of the real property of the surviving spouse of any law enforcement officer, firefighter, search and rescue personnel, or emergency medical services personnel who was killed in the line of duty where the surviving spouse occupies the real property as his or her principal place of residence and has not yet remarried.
So I'm sorry, go ahead, Jody.
Basically,
if I'm translating that correctly, we're voting to exempt the widow or widower of deceased service people from taxes.
From personal property tax of the location.
Of the location. So basically, you ain't got to pay your car tax if your husband or wife was a member of the fire department in that area.
And is killed in the line of duty.
Then
you don't have to pay personal property tax on that locality or that domicile where you live.
Right.
So
translation, if you live in the city of Richmond and
you got a house.
You own a house in the city of Richmond and your husband or wife is killed in the line of duty, going forward, you ain't got to pay property tax on the house no more. You're voting.
As long as you live there and you don't get remarried.
Yes.
I agree.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I still, call me crazy, but I still didn't really fully understand the first one you were saying. My bad. I'm so sorry.
So if I'm okay with it, am I supposed to say yes or no?
Well, hold on. Let me read the.
We can come back to that, Jody.
Let me read the kind of layman's talk on it. The proposed constitutional amendment authorizes the General Assembly to enact a law that will allow a locality, such as Richmond, to exempt from taxation the real property of the survivor's spouse or any law enforcement officer, firefighter, search and rescue personnel, or emergency medical services personnel who is killed in line of duty. Cop goes, tries to stop something, gets fatally wounded, he passes away, or he or she passes away. And the exemption from taxation will cease if the surviving spouse remarries. So if they bought a house, that person may bring in the most money in the house. That person passes away. As long as that the spouse lives in that locality, lives in that house, and does not remarry, they no longer have to pay personal property taxes on it.
Wow.
But once they remarry, they have to start paying personal property taxes on it.
Wow.
The exemption would apply regardless of whether the spouse was killed in line of duty prior to the effective date of this amendment, but would apply only to those real property taxes to be paid on or the effective date of this amendment. So if you already paid it before this goes through, tough luck. It happens after this goes through.
Let me just say this. That shit's like super confusing, like for real. Like even as you break it up in layman's terms, and I mean absolutely, positively, no disrespect, but there's a lot of people whose education level would have issues with how these things are written. And I think that's kind of by design.
Yes.
Even when you break it down in layman's terms, it's still a little bit confusing.
Yeah, there are a lot of ifs.
Because see, I'm supposed to, I know in my mind what I want to do with both of them.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, am I supposed to say yes or am I supposed to say no? You know what I mean? Like, I get a little bit twisted up a little bit.
Yeah. You know, because you feel a certain way, but then after you feel that certain way, there are caveats to all of these. And then you have to add the caveats in. Is it really worth it? That sort of thing. And that's the whole part. And that's why it's so important as voters that we need to go into the polling, because they're not going to talk to you. You got to decipher this stuff for yourself. So,
and you need to go in there knowing what you're going to do.
Knowing what you're voting on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if I had to pick a percentage out, I'd probably say 75% of the people who go vote tomorrow in the state of Virginia has no idea what they're about to vote on. They're going to see a couple things, and it's going to be, if their spouse dies, they should have to pay property taxes. And that's going to be it. Because that's all they're seeing. They're not seeing, well, if they remarry, they have to pay property tax. If they move, stuff like that. So, and that's why I brought it up today. Because I think it's important. Even if you don't live in the state of Virginia, of the Commonwealth of Virginia, you need to go on the internet, find out what you're voting on tomorrow, so you are prepared mentally, so you know what you're voting on.
Because a lot of times, Big Roo, people go into the polls on election day and they think the only thing they voting for is the president.
The president and mayors
and governors and senators and congressmen. Yep. And honestly, I would venture to say that a lot of people aren't prepared to vote for their mayors and governors and senators and congressmen. A lot of times people vote the ticket.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like they know if you're a Republican, you vote Republican all the way down. If you're a Democrat, you vote Democrat all the way down. Whereas someone like me, I'm an independent. And so, I have voted for Republicans and I have voted for Democrats. It's a matter of which guy's not an asshole. That's who I vote for. Or which gal is not an asshole. That's who I vote for.
A lot of people say D, C, D, 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 D. Okay, that's who I vote for. R, 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 I.
I mean, if that works for you, I think everybody has the right to vote the way they want to vote. I think that's reckless. That's just my opinion. That just might be the way someone decides that works for them.
Well, but my thing is, when you're voting for a person is one thing, but when you're voting on two things that affects the Constitution of your Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And you really have no, literally what I read to you is the first part, the question. That's all that's going to be up there.
Yeah.
All the extra
You're
stuff.
not going to get the stuff you just
No.
read. No, you just get the question. You got to say yay or nay.
Yeah. Or you'd be like, "Rrr," and nobody's going to help you there.
Well, I know, I mean, we talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what else? The other thing that I wanted to mention was on the ballot tomorrow in 5 states is the recreational legalization of marijuana.
Yep, I heard about that.
It's going on the ballot in California, Massachusetts, Maine, Arizona, and Nevada. Now, I don't want to put nobody on the spot. That's not what I'm asking the question here, and I don't want to take over, but you're talking about amendments, and you're talking about how you need to do your research to figure out what you want to do with regards to your individual state. When we're talking about something like legalization of marijuana, we're talking about something like taxation. We're talking about something like, you know, what was the first one? Unions in your state. Like, you need to pay attention, electorate. It's more than just Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want weed legal in your state?
Do you want Joe Morrissey to be your mayor?
Do you want Joe Morrissey to be your mayor? Do you want to have access to unions? Do you want to be able to get more money taxed? Or do you want to be a bleeding heart and say, you know what, we're not going to tax them. They've had a hardship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot that you have to pay attention to.
Yes, sir. All right. So, that's that part I wanted to get into. Now we can talk about other couple of things. Because, you know, in the round table, we talk about some crazy stuff. So.
Who, you?
Never me. So, the first thing I have is, you know, some people in Virginia, Lake Ridge, Virginia, somebody hacked an electronic road sign in Virginia and urged people to vote Trump and skip crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary.
Was that in Texas?
No, that was in Virginia. That was in Lake Ridge, Virginia. They meant to say crooked, and they spelled it crooked.
That's because it's uneducated folk that support Trump. I'm so sorry to say that.
I mean, the sign was located in Prince William County.
Lord,
And it
have
also
mercy.
flashed a profane term for women in addition to the messages about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Of course, that's what we resort to now. We name call. That's what, not we, but that's what people do. You know, they shut their ears and yell.
Yeah.
Close their eyes, shut their ears, and yell when you don't agree with them.
And they fixed it, and they put a lock on the keyboard. So
Yeah.
Somebody can change it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the craziness that happens. Also, in Bangor, Maine, we have our first actual ghoul candidate. Ghoul, Ghoul, like scary. Signs are popping up around Bangor, Maine, advertising the campaign of Pennywise, the creepy clown from Stephen King's It. The signs vote Pennywise and include a picture of the clown showing his toothy smile, because they have nothing else better to do in Bangor, Maine. But I guess, you know, it's funny until you scare some little kid with it. And nobody knows why it just popped up. It's weird. Let's see what else going on. Oh no, that's later. So, if you live in Longview, Texas, and you're stressed about this election, it's just getting too much to you. You can go to a driving range and swing golf balls at Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump figures. Literally, you can do that. Alpine Target Golf Center in Longview hung the portraits on a round hay bale, and the photos show the Democrat and Republican candidates with their mouths wide open. And then you just hit golf balls. However, it is unknown as if you hit it in the mouth, that counts for a vote.
Are you serious right now?
I'm serious right now. I'm serious. That's funny. Also, in London, they're getting into the fun too, surprisingly. They created a 11-meter high, which is 36 feet, model of the Republican United States presidential candidate. And it was burned at a fireworks display to do a little turn of "you're fired." As he would fire people on his show, they literally fired him. Mm-hmm. Oh. Everybody is getting into this election, except for us who hate it.
Mm. Lord, I'm going to just sing the song, "We Shall Overcome," in my old Negro spiritual voice. We shall overcome.
Oh, my God. See,
someday, yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
It's okay.
I think you just channeled like every single big ass skirt, handkerchief head wearing.
I heard some Aunt Jemima up in
grandma.
there.
Yeah,
baby.
man. Yes,
Sing
sir.
Yeah, baby.
You were channeling them. Especially with the.
That sound like the elder in the church that's in on the first row.
Because they ain't a spiritual unless you get a.
I mean, that's the adult choir in church. When you got one of the oldest ladies singing a song, she's starting out that way.
Let me not sing with Jody Smith again, because the last time I did it didn't work.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't that great.
I mean, I thought I did dope.
Yeah, you must have been terrible.
I was, but I didn't think I was. Y'all thought I was, but I don't care.
So.
You punks.
So in Providence, Rhode Island, we don't get to vote on weed, but we get to vote on unions and taxation. Other places get to vote on weed. Providence, Rhode Island gets to vote on how they're going to spend money from a will from 1824. Let's see. There's a fund that traced back to a 19th century philanthropist. And it holds $2.2 million. And it distributes a portion of the money every year to nonprofit organizations. And they get to vote on how they're going to use that money. That's kind of dope.
No, it does sound like it's dope.
Why can't we vote for that in Virginia?
I mean, Virginia is slow, man. You know what I mean? We ain't even going to, vote on marijuana for, another.
That's because we're a Commonwealth, yeah. Only real states get to vote on that.
Yeah, but even D.C., you ain't gonna get popped for weed.
I mean, but they had a mayor who was a crackhead, so.
We about to elect a pedophile. What are you talking about?
Hey, hold on. Pedophile, crackhead, two different things.
I'd rather have a crackhead.
I'll get back to you on that one.
You ain't got to get back to me. I know how I feel. I'd rather have a crackhead than a pedophile. Because at least my crackhead is like, you messing with yourself. You mess with my kid, then I gotta take you out, and then I gotta go to jail because I killed you, and it's not even my fault.
Right. He with hardcore. A 16-year-old daughter, I can't have that.
So Mr. 3375, you are not voting for Morrissey tomorrow?
No.
Oh, just making sure.
I'm voting for Jack Berry. I'll let y'all know who I'm voting for.
Go ahead, bro.
For one, he done paid my salary for the last six years. So.
Here we go.
There you go.
This guy over here voting for his old boss.
So a lot of things happened in Maine, apparently. The father of a candidate for the Maine state house seat is on the ballot, the Maine ballot for the state house seat. However, he moved out of the state, and he's not running anymore. So he can literally get elected for the Maryland State House not living there, because people might want to elect him there. Craziness. Now to the fun stuff, because everybody's kind of done with the election stuff. I want to throw some different things in there. Port Huron, Michigan. A Michigan dog who spent weeks on death row has returned home after a DNA test cleared him in the death of Vlad, the dog next door. Yes, there's a dog on death row, and he got cleared by DNA evidence. Who says DNA evidence doesn't work, man? Yes, that's right. Come on, Marcus. I can see it on your face.
We are talking about dogs on death row. Unless that dog is Snoop Dogg, on death row.
But he's not with Death Row. He got out his contract.
Yeah.
He went to No Limit for a little bit
understand what
after
I'm
that.
saying to you. Unless that dog is Snoop Dogg on death row, I am writing down the initials WTF. Like, for real.
Now, see, if you do that, are they going to throw your ballot out?
I don't know.
What if they say, oh, we didn't read that?
Sure, maybe so. I don't know.
Inconclusive.
So, the crazy part is a judge ordered that the dog die. Be euthanized, excuse me. Let me use different terms. Be euthanized. But he also agreed to a DNA test on the dead dog's body. And it came up negative.
What is this? Wait a minute. Maybe I was lost for a second. What?
That's what it's real. I didn't do it. I can't make this stuff up.
What is the story?
A dog was about to die, get euthanized because another dog got damaged. And
He
they
attacked
blamed
this other dog?
Well, no, they said he did, but he
Okay.
didn't. And DNA test proved that he didn't.
No. DNA? So who? Wow. Somebody paid for. Okay.
We paid for that.
That's a daggone shame. Really?
The state of Michigan paid for that. That's real.
Pay for the Lord. That's the devaluing of human lives we have come to. We will see commercials with the crazy looking dogs in there.
I mean, all I got to do is say Michael Vick,
and feel
we
bad
done
for
there.
him versus a homeless man on the street.
2 more. They were done.
That's crazy.
So, you in a casino, you hit the slots. The lights go off. You won $43 million. Woo! No, you didn't. You only won $2.25. Because that's what, even though the thing says she won $43 million, the casino says she only won $2.25. Because apparently casinos, like the slot machines, can only give out like $6,000 at a time. But somehow it malfunctioned and says she won $43 million. So,
I heard about that.
yeah, she a little
I
upset.
heard about that. Yes.
I mean, got happy and everything. All the people got happy for $2.25.
Yeah.
She's suing.
She ought to. It ain't her fault. The slot machine malfunction.
I mean, but really, I don't know if she gonna win that one.
Hey, they at least should give her the 6,000. I'm just saying. She should get something.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So, in Ashland, New Hampshire, somebody decided to have his own vote
Oh Lord, for what?
for Hillary and, you know.
What you mean, like he running his own poll?
Yeah, he ran his poll. So a week
Wow.
before Election Day, a New Hampshire farm stand owner decided to tally customers' votes for president
Oh,
from an outhouse turned fake voting booth. The winner, Hillary Clinton. So based on this dude's voting center, he says Hillary Clinton's gonna win.
That's why I say Trump gonna come out and say I was working for her the whole time. I mean, I tricked you.
I tricked you.
Tricked you. I've been working for Hillary all this time. Gotcha.
I'm with her.
Seriously, man. He has offended almost everybody. It's a setup, y'all. He working for Hillary.
I think we come out.
It's
we
crazy.
Find,
I wouldn't be surprised,
if
bro.
if we come out and we find that out, I swear.
I would not
When
be
it-
surprised.
when
Come
at
on
the
now.
end
What
of the
presidential
day- I
election
look
has
up-
played out like
I
this?
look up
where
in the
he offended
sky, and every single
everybody?
bird in the sky gonna fall and hit the ground.
It's crazy because if Hillary wins, what if Hillary was like, well, I'm going to make Donald Trump Secretary of Defense?
That's a slapping everybody face,
You know what I'm
bruh.
saying?
Like I
I be
mean,
like, what?
with both hands and both feet. That's just slapping,
Yeah, that's
slapping
crazy.
the face. Both
That's
hands and
getting
feet.
cold. Last one. All right. So, in Gulfport, Mississippi, attorney drops his lawsuit after he choked on Popeye's chicken.
What? Ain't nobody tell you not to chew your chicken. Come
Miss-
on, get some of Louisiana's fried chicken.
You gotta chew. You gotta chew that joint with all your teeth, man. Not just the
You
side.
got to chew, baby.
With all your teeth, not just one side.
How
A
you gonna-
Mississippi attorney has dropped his lawsuit against Popeye's Louisiana Chicken after he says he choked on a piece of chicken when the fast food restaurant failed to provide him a knife in the drive-thru.
He
Just
was
because
hungry.
I mean, but he's the same person. He's like the same person said, "I want coffee," I didn't know the coffee was gonna be hot.
Yeah, and then you get burned.
Yeah.
And then you sue.
I can see the lady that represented right. I should have told you, baby, chew that chicken, that New Orleans fried chicken. Lord.
He told the Sun Herald Thursday that he decided.
I should have told you to chew it, baby.
She sounds just like it too. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I could like totally picture it. Like, yeah, for real. I'm gonna go ahead and pay this $100,000 because I didn't remind you to chew your chicken.
Come on, man.
But
like,
here's the greatest part. The greatest part of this is he decided not to pursue the matter further, citing extreme comments, quote, extreme comments directed at his family. So people were talking junk to his family, so he's like, nah, I'm not going to pursue it. Because they're probably like, yeah,
because it reminded him how stupid it was, I bet.
He was this is last November.
That's crazy.
He was given, the only utensil he was given at the restaurant was a spork.
Oh,
The lawsuit said,
oh, Lord.
the lawsuit said that because Newton didn't receive a plastic knife, his only option was to hold a piece of chicken with his hands and tear off pieces with his teeth.
Bruh.
Teeth causing him to choke.
Bruh.
Isn't that how people eat chicken?
Right. Is this real?
was a
I
sport.
mean, because seriously, who's gonna puree your chicken? Like, who cuts up your
Did you get
chicken
this
with
from Snopes?
with the knife and the fork?
No, Yahoo.
Did you get this from Snopes?
Yahoo News, man. I lied to you that.
Let me tell you, I went on-
National Enquirer News.
I went on this date one time, and this girl, she cut her cheese sticks with a fork.
Was this the first date?
Yeah, it was the first
Okay,
date.
Last date?
she didn't want you to see her chow down, baby.
Last
That's
date?
all.
Huh?
Last date.
It wasn't the last date.
Oh, dang.
Why you go?
You went back out with her again?
But I'm just like, yo.
Did you have relations?
But I'm just like, yo, why you cutting cheese sticks though?
Oh,
Like,
see.
you should.
You asked her about
The
cutting
next
cheese
time you
sticks?
go out with her, did she cut her cereal?
no.
Hilarious.
She was just trying. She didn't want you to see her eating like a hungry hostage.
Man, I was like, if you
But
don't
I'm gonna
pick
tell
them
you
cheese
something.
sticks
Like,
up,
I mean,
with
I
your
don't
fingers-
want to change the tone of the show, but for real talk, ladies, you get so much more credibility from us fellas if you just be yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And freaking eat.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like cut the bullshit. And then the other thing is, like, if you got to take a shit, just shit.
Yeah, just go ahead and do
Just
it.
go.
But
Like, go.
You got to do it. Everybody
Yeah.
does it.
Like, I
Yeah.
never met a
But you
person
know
that
what?
don't do it.
If you don't, you ain't human.
You whack if you be sitting around, your eyes turning brown because you don't go.
Hey,
For real?
I gotta ask you: the sister that was cutting up her stuff, was she a
First
pretty?
of all, was she
pretty?
a sister?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
when you cute, you can burp and fart and all that and still be cute. But when
Yeah.
you ugly, you can't do that.
I say, I
You be
wouldn't-
like, ugh, she
I
ugly.
wouldn't have went out on.
Close your legs. Don't be farting with your ugly. But if a cute Jake fart, you be like, oh man, I'm gonna just oversee that. 'cause you cute. I ain't even gonna smell. I'm just hold my nose, baby. You pretty.
Oh, wow.
Ugly Jane fart. You be like, oh God, I ain't taking her out. No,
But
She got it right. Though.
but at,
right? You know I'm right.
Yeah, she got it
first of
right.
all, I would think Mr. 3375 wouldn't take out a quote unquote ugly Jake.
Ugly Jane.
Yeah.
But
Now she had to be like that's a subconscious for me.
yeah, she cut up her cheese sticks though.
Yeah, she
I
didn't
just
want.
thought it was funny, man. Cause
But you
I mean,
know
it's
what?
something.
That's the type of chick you look out for. That's the type of chick that shows you her representative, and then
Yeah.
when you get in good, that's when she gonna break out the rollers.
That was either funny
And it's-
or
yeah.
warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you real.
did you ever? Did
But
she?
that chick was fake.
Did she cut her soup?
Bro, you know what? Rhetorical. Rhetorical.
Yo.
Father.
But hold on. As they say, there's more.
Oh my God.
Father,
The lawsuit
please, we
said
need
that
to know.
Newton underwent emergency surgery to remove the piece of chicken from his throat.
His thoke.
In the Lord in the dope.
His
I
thoke.
could quote, I continue to believe that the facts demonstrated an unsafe condition to the public that could easily be solved by the responsible parties at very little cost, unquote. I am hopeful that my filing of the court proceeding results in such remedial actions. However, due to extreme comments directed to me and my family, I have determined not to pursue this matter further, unquote. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's the round table today. Hope you learned something, and I hope it made you laugh.
Ain't no-
No, real talk. If you wouldn't explain those amendment things, I would have been a little more lost, and a lot of people listening would have been too.
Yeah.
They would have been reading it, not knowing what means what, because they worded it in such a way where certain people are like, huh? You can read it and understand the word. You know, you can read
Correct.
the words, but still don't know what it's talking about.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like double speak. And
Yeah.
realistically, you kind of don't know what you're speaking.
It's like I need to take a lawyer with me to the polls.
But you know what's crazy? They say that when you watch the evening news, They give you the evening news, and you don't realize it if you don't know any better. But they say that they give you the evening news on a 6th grade level. So the language that they use and the way they speak to you, they're speaking to you on a 6th grade level.
See, how do they want to dumb you down?
Well, it's not that. It's not that. It's because they've realized that a lot of people watching the news, with all due respect,
Are dumb. They believe everything they see.
Well, no, not so much that. They don't have the intellectual capacity to be able to consume certain things. And so they speak in a way that everybody can understand. If you got a PhD, you're going to understand the 6th grade level. If you graduated from the 8th grade, you're going to understand the 6th grade level. Like, they want to speak to be able to hit the masses. So that's why they do it. And so I would think that they would do the same thing with these things, that the questions that are in the ballots. It's right up there with, how many bubbles is here before you get to vote and shit like that. So I trip off of it because you get a lot of people who don't believe that voter suppression is real, when in certain states you can go to the polls and vote with your gun license, but you can't vote with your student ID. But yeah, there's no voter suppression. The polls are rigged, but at the same time, the amount of incidences of people trying to steal votes is so minuscule that it almost never happens. But when it did happen in recent weeks, you had a woman that was arrested for trying to vote for Donald Trump twice. But he's the one that's talking about the voter in elections is rigged. They know how to step with Mark J.
Just get her out of here.
Live from the Dan
Grab her
Legacy
by the-
Radio. Our brother, Coach Ship, thank you, brother. Thank you, Coach, for checking us out. He's going back and saying unions help minorities against discriminations. He's referring to that. Ain't no how to step with Mark J. Live from the Dan Legacy Radio. Take our final break of the night. We come back. We're going to have our rants. We're going to have our closings. Those folks that are checking us out right now, Facebook Live, going to shut it down for a minute. We're going to bring it right back. We're going to close out the show with a word from everybody in the room. Marcus J. and the crew and her crazy ass. Be back in a few.
Is my mic on? Oh, okay. Legacy Internet Radio. It's your girl, the First Lady, comedianess, Lissa P. Ow, ow! Make sure you're tuned in to the #1 internet radio station around, Legacy Internet Radio. Be sure to check out our website at www.legacyinternetradio.com, or you can download the free TuneIn app. Go to the search, type in Legacy Internet Radio, and there you'll have us. Legacy Internet Radio, where independence is the key to building your legacy. Ow, ow!
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Jody Smith, JMM, Jody Music Mixtape. It's a classic. Get at my dude, Marcus J, on Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half-stepping. Get your own JMM mixtape. Hit me up. Jody Smith on Facebook, Jody Music, Jody Music, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. They're both Jody_804. Get at me on YouTube. That's Jody the Artist. Check out some of my footage, some of my videos. You can listen in on SoundCloud, Jody Smith Music, or just give me a call at 1-262-JODY-804. That's 1-262-JODY-804.